So if there was such a thing as a teen idol for women or young girls back in the day, Ronnie Spector was one, and this lady was, of course, adored by many, sold tons of albums, but personal tragedies, including assault and murders of family members, kind of overshadowed her best work. But for a lot of people, she is probably one of the better singers of all time. Concetto Rosa Maria Franco Nero, born December 12, 37, passed away on July 16th in Florida. She, known as Connie Francis, she was an American pop singer, actress, and one of the top charting female vocalists of the late 50s and early 60s. She was estimated to have sold more than 100 million records worldwide. In 1960, she was recognized as the most successful female recording artist in Germany, Japan, the UK, Italy, Australia, and the States. She became the first woman in history to reach number one on the Billboard Hot 100, where Everybody Somebody's Fool topped the chart in 1960. She was also the first woman to achieve three number one hits in her career amongst her 53 career entries. Now she goes under traditional pop, rock and roll, country pop, and vocal jazz. Her career went from 1950 to 2018. Major labels she recorded on included MGM, Polydor, and UA. Now, born Italian American, one of her grandfathers having immigrated from Calabria in 1905 in the iron-bound network of Newark, New Jersey. She was the first child of George and Ida Franco Nero. She spent her first years in the Crown Heights, Brooklyn area before her family moved to New Jersey. Growing up in a mixed Italian-Jewish neighborhood, she became fluent in Yiddish, which led her later to record songs in Yiddish and Hebrew. In her autobiography, Who's Sorry Now, published in 1984, she recalls that her father encouraged her to appear regularly at talent contests, pageants, and other neighborhood festivities as a child, singing and playing the accordion. During rehearsals for appearance on the Arthur Godfrey Talent Scouts in December 1950, she was advised by Godfrey to change her stage name to Connie Francis for easier pronunciation, and the rest is history. Now, she attended Newark Arts High School in 51-52 before she and her family moved to Belleville, New Jersey. She was a salutatorian from Belleville High in 55. Now, she continued to perform at neighborhood festivities and talent shows, appearing alternately as her real name and Connie Franco Nero, or Concetta. Until the later name change, she appeared on the NBC's variety show Startime Kids between 1953 and 55. Now, in 55, Startime Kids went off the air. In May that same year, her management and her father raised money for a recording session of 4 songs, which she hoped to sell to a major record company under Francis' own name. Even when MGM Records decided a contract with her, it was because one track she had recorded, Freddie, happened to be the name and the son of a company executive, Harry A. Meyerson, who thought the song as a nice birthday gift. Hence, Freddie was released as Francis' first single, which turned out to be a commercial failure, just like her next 8 solo singles. Despite these failures, she was hired to record the vocals for Tuesday While Singing scenes in the 56 movie Rock, 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 and for Frida Holloway in the 57 rock and roll movie Jamboree. In the fall of 57, Francis enjoyed her first modest success with a duet single recorded with Marvin Rainwater, The Majesty of Love, with You, My Darling You, as the B-side. It finished in the lower ranks in the top 100. Now, her minor chart success came too late for a record label. Francis' recording contract consisted of 10 solo singles and 1 duet. Though success had finally seemed to come with The Majesty of Love, she was informed by MGM that her contract would not be renewed after her last solo single. Francis considered a career in medicine and was about to accept a 4-year scholarship at New York University, but at a recording session for MGM on October 2nd, 1957, with Joe Lipman and his orchestra, she recorded a cover version of the 1923 song Who's Sorry Now, written by Bert Kalmar and Harry Ruby. Francis said she recorded assistance of her father, who was convinced it stood a chance of becoming a hit because it was a song adults already knew, and teenagers would dance to it if it had a contemporary arrangement. And of course, that blew like crazy. The single seemed to go unnoticed for a while, like all previous releases, just as Francis had predicted. But on New Year's Day 58, it debuted on Dick Clark's American Bandstand, and the rest is history. I heard Dick Clark mention something about a new girl singer, so what else is new? Another girl singer she's talking about in her book. There are 95 million females in the country, and I bet 95% of them sing. There's no doubt about it, predicted Mr. Clark. She's headed straight for the number 1 spot. I began feeling sorry for myself and a bit envious too, Good luck to her, I thought, and then Mr. Clark just happened to play a song called Who's Sorry Now. My Who's Sorry Now? Well, the feeling was cosmic, just cosmic. Right here in my living room became Mardi Gras time and New Year's Eve at the turn of the century. Now, from there, there was some follow-up singles, but she had a big hit. Stupid Cupid, who was among my souvenirs, Lipstick on Your Collar as well. Now, she was an international recording star for many years and did an album in Italy at EMI's famous Abbey Road Studios. Titled Connie Francis Sings Italian Favorites. The album was released in November 1959. It soon entered the album charts, remained for 81 weeks, peaking at number 4 and becoming France's most successful album. The song Mama, the single taken from the album, reached number 8 in the States and number 2 in the UK. Following the success, Francis recorded several more albums of favorites between 1960 and 1964, including songs in Jewish, German, and Irish, among others. Nevertheless, Francis continued to record singles aimed at kids. Among her top 10 hits in the 60s include Breaking in a Brand New Broken Heart, When a Girl in Your Arms is the Girl in Your Heart, Secondhand Love, and Where the Boys Are. The last one became her signature tune and became the theme song of Francis' first motion picture. The movie introduced the concept of spring break, as the once sleepy town of Fort Lauderdale became the hotspot for college students on their spring vacation in the wake of the movie's success. Now, Everybody's Somebody's Fool, Many Tears Ago, and a lot of key singles. Now, her first autobiography, For Every Young Heart, was published in 1963, and on July 3rd that same year, she played a Royal Command performance for Queen Elizabeth. Now, due to music trends in the early and mid-60s, especially the British invasion, her chart success began to wane after 1963, which a lot of people had. Now, when she returned to San Remo, she started doing a lot more what they call classic duets, and mostly Italian. Now, after harmonic success with her cover Should I Tie a Yellow Ribbon Around the Old Oak Tree, Francis began performing regularly again in the early 70s. Now, while appearing at the Westbury Music Fair in New York on November 8, 1974, her career took a nosedive as she was raped at night point and tied to a chair at the Jericho Turnpike Howard Johnson's Lodge in Jericho, New York, and nearly suffocated under the weight of a heavy mattress the culprit had thrown upon her. A 19-year-old guest at the hotel was arrested as a suspect. She subsequently sued the hotel chain for failing to provide adequate security and reportedly won a judgment of $2.5 million, one of the largest such judgments in history, leading to a reform in hotel security. However, the rapist was never found. In the years after the incident, Francis went into depression, taking as many as 50 Davron pills a day, and rarely left her home. Now, she did make a minor comeback in the late 70s, but this is what happened as well. In 1981, further tragedy struck Francis and his family when her brother George, to whom she was very close, was murdered by mafia hitmen. George was an attorney who had testified against mob activity and refused witness protection. George's death forced her to stop wallowing in self-pity and take responsibility for her extended family, noting that the sum of tragedy she had experienced up to then made her very angry. Now, her later career, again, she was doing covers, but one of her better albums are called Where the Hits Are, containing re-recordings of 18 of her biggest hits, as well as 6 classic of yesteryear Francis that always wanted to record, such as Are You Lonesome Tonight and Torn Between Two Lovers. Now, she had some success in the German charts in the early 90s, and she had a Trump Castle album she put out in 96. Now, in late December 2004, she headlined in Las Vegas for the first time since 1989. In March and October 2007, she performed to solo crowds at the Castro Theater in San Francisco. She appeared in concert in Manila on Valentine's Day 2008. In 2010, she had a performance with the great Dionne Warwick, a show billed as Eric Floyd's Grand Divas of Stage. In December 2017, Francis released her most recent autobiography, Among My Souvenirs. When she retired in 2018, she lived in Florida the remainder of her life. In 2025, her 62-song Pretty Little Baby went viral on TikTok, becoming a sleeper hit. When reached for comment, Francis said she'd forgotten about the song, was so pleased that her music and the innocence it sought to represent was being embraced by a younger audience. She had hoped to make a comeback appearance at an event hosted by Cousin Brucey this month, but is able to do so due to failing health. Now, while her singles were mostly kept at then current sounds such as Rock and Roll Novelty, The Twist, Torch Ballads of the Girl Group, Francis' albums represented a variety of styles, and she was a great performer. Now, key movies that she performed in as a voice actress or an actress: Rock, 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 Jamboree, The Sheriff for Fractured Jaw, Where the Boys Are, Follow the Boys, Looking for Love, and When the Boys Meet the Girls. And she played on The Sister and the Savage with James Ferrantino on Above Hope that Presents. Now, the books that she published, A Forever Young Heart, Who's Sorry Now, and Among My Souvenirs. Now, she did have a relationship with Bobby Darin for a number of years, and she basically said that he had a falling out, but she wrote that her not marrying Darin was the biggest mistake in her life. Now, she had various husbands through the years: Dick Canellis from in '64, Izzy Marion in '71, Joe Garzilli, 53 to 80, and Bob Parkinson in 1985. And Tony Ferretta was her partner for 21 years, 19 years, but unfortunately passed in 2022. Now, concerning her health, a lot of people thought she had already passed, but she was quite active. Now, Franchard suffered a hip injury in early 2025 that left her wheelchair bound. She was undergoing stem cell therapy and had hopes of fully recovering as recently as this May. In late June 2025, she revealed she had been experiencing pelvic pain on her right side and was advised it was due to a fracture. She noted that she would need to rely on a wheelchair longer than anticipated while recovering. She was hospitalized in Florida on July 2nd due to recurrence of extreme pain. She underwent a series of tests and examinations while in intensive care and was later transferred to a private room. In a Facebook post, she speculated that symptoms may be related to the fracture. On July 4th, she reported feeling much better after a good night. She was later discharged from the hospital and soon began to deteriorate and lost consciousness for the final time on July 14th. She died 2 days later at the age of 87, with her death confirmed by longtime friend Rob Roberts the following day. Now, Frances and singer Gloria Estefan completed a screenplay for a movie based on her life called Who's Sorry Now. Estefan announced that she would produce and play the lead, but by 2009, the film was dropped. Now, ironically as well, Frances said about the Estefan that Dolly Parton had been contacting her for years trying to produce her life story, but owing to her previous commitment to Estefan's organization, she was not able to accept Parton's offer. She noted in the article that both she and Parton had considered independently of each other actress Valerie Bertinelli to play Frances. Now, she's currently being portrayed by singer Gracie Lawrence in a Broadway musical Just in Time, based on the life of Bobby Darin, which was premiered in April of this year. Frances never saw Lawrence's performance. She had hoped to travel to New York to see it once her hip allowed her to do so. Now, the only problem that she had, again, the incident to sexual assault kind of made her, not say untouchable, but it was hard to understand why she wasn't supported by the industry more. She helped build the teen industry for years. So again, just to recap, ladies and gentlemen, big hits: Who's Sorry Now, Stupid Cupid, My Happiness, Lipstick on Your Collar, Among My Souvenirs, Mama, Jealous of You, My Heart Has a Mind, Many Tears Ago, Where the Boys Are, Breaking in a Brand New Broken Heart, Together, He's My Dreamboat, When the Boy in Your Arms is the Boy in Your Heart, Don't Break the Heart That Loves You, Secondhand Love, Vacation, I Was Such a Fool, I'm Going to Be Warm This Winter, Follow the Boys, If My Pillow Could Talk, Drowning My Sorrows, Your Other Love, In the Summer of His Years, Blue Winter, Be Anything But Be Mine, and with the invasion, she never had another top 40 again, the British invasion. It's unfortunate because, again, she was quite the talent. Now, the key album, if you can still find it, is Who's Sorry Now in '58. And another king one is Connie Francis Sings Italian Favorites, went number 4 U.S. Connie's Greatest Hits went 17. More Italian Favorites went number 9. Connie Francis Sings Never on Sunday went to number 11. Country Music Connie Style, Would You Want to Live at Country, 22nd on the charts. And tons of releases through the years. There were a lot of EPs as well. So Connie Francis, for me, again, one of the most underrated musical artists of all time. But the super couple heard Bobby Darin. The millions of dollars left on the table if you would have been together for a long while and done all those duets. It would have been amazing. Connie Francis, you will be missed. I know as a kid, when I heard your voice, you had a voice of an angel, and now you're singing with the angels. I'm really going to mourn your passing. A lot of your fans will. I could do like 10-hour podcasts on all the good stuff you did. This is a truncated version, but Connie, like I said, heaven's a place where all your pain has gone away, and like I said, God bless you. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you like what we're doing here with our Screenshots Tribute Podcast, let us know what to like, comment, subscribe, or share.